There was once a young man who wanted to learn the art of selling. He heard of a famous Zen master who was known for his wisdom and skill in business. He decided to travel to the master's temple and ask for his guidance. He arrived at the temple and bowed respectfully to the master, who was sitting in meditation. He said, "Master, I have come to learn from you. Please teach me how to sell anything." The master opened his eyes and looked at him. He said, "What do you want to sell?" The young man was surprised by the question. He said, "Well, anything. I want to be able to sell any product or service to any customer." The master nodded and said, "Very well, follow me." He got up and walked out of the temple, with the young man following him. They walked through the village, passing by various shops and stalls. The master stopped at a fruit vendor and picked up an apple. He handed it to the young man and said, "Sell me this apple." The young man took the apple and looked at it. He thought for a moment and then said, "This apple is fresh and juicy. It has a sweet and crisp taste. It is good for your health and will quench your thirst. It is only $1. Would you like to buy it?" The master shook his head and said, "No, thank you." He walked on, leaving the young man puzzled. They came across a flower seller and the master picked up a rose. He gave it to the young man and said, "Sell me this rose." The young man took the rose and smelled it. He said, "This rose is beautiful and fragrant. It has a delicate and romantic color. It is perfect for expressing your love and appreciation. It is only $2. Would you like to buy it?" The master shook his head again and said, "No, thank you." He walked on, leaving the young man more confused. They reached a bookstore and the master picked up a book. He handed it to the young man and said, "Sell me this book." The young man took the book and opened it. He said, "This book is interesting and informative. It has a captivating and inspiring story. It will enrich your mind and soul. It is only $10. Would you like to buy it?" The master shook his head once more and said, "No, thank you." He walked on, leaving the young man frustrated. They came back to the temple, and the master sat down in meditation again. The young man put down the apple, the rose, and the book on the floor, and bowed to the master. He said, "Master, I have tried my best to sell you these things, but you did not want any of them. Please tell me what I did wrong." The master opened his eyes and looked at him. He said, "You did nothing wrong. You described the features and benefits of each item very well. You offered them at reasonable prices. You were polite and enthusiastic." The young man said, "Then why did you not buy anything?" The master smiled and said, "Because you did not sell me anything." The young man was baffled. He said, "But I did sell you these things. I told you what they are and why you should buy them." The master shook his head and said, "No, you did not sell me anything. You only told me what you think of these things. You did not ask me what I think of them. You did not listen to my needs or wants. You did not connect with me or understand me." The young man realized his mistake. He said, "I see now. I was too focused on myself and my products. I did not pay attention to you or your problems." The master nodded and said, "That is right. To sell anything, you must first sell yourself. You must build trust and rapport with your customer. You must ask questions and listen actively to their answers. You must show empathy and curiosity about their situation. You must find out what they value and desire most in life." The young man asked, "And then what?" The master said, "And then you can offer them a solution that matches their needs or wants perfectly. You can show them how your product or service can help them achieve their goals or solve their problems better than any other option available in the market." The young man asked, "And then they will buy from me?" The master said, "Not necessarily. They may still have doubts or objections that prevent them from making a decision right away." The young man asked, "What should I do then?" The master said, "You should address their concerns with facts or stories that prove your claims or overcome their fears. You should also create a sense of urgency or scarcity that motivates them to act now rather than later. You should also ask for the sale confidently and clearly, without being pushy or needy." The young man asked, "And then they will buy from me?" The master said, "Maybe. They may still need some time to think or consult with others before they commit. They may also change their mind or forget about you after they leave." The young man asked, "What should I do then?" The master said, You should follow up with them regularly and politely until they are ready to buy or tell you to stop. You should also provide them with value and support after they buy to ensure their satisfaction and loyalty. You should also ask them for referrals or testimonials to generate more leads and sales. The young man asked, "And then I will be able to sell anything?" The master said, "Yes, you will. But remember, selling is not just a skill or a technique. It is an art and a science. It is a way of serving others and creating value for them. It is a way of expressing yourself and connecting with others. It is a way of living and learning." The young man thanked the master and bowed deeply. He said, "Master, you have taught me more than how to sell anything. You have taught me how to live anything. I am grateful for your wisdom and kindness." The master smiled and said, "You are welcome. Now go and practice what you have learned. And remember, the best way to learn is by doing." This is Live Life Motivation. Stay tuned and subscribe for more stories.